And we're back. Everyone who's out on Twitch, thank you very much for appearing at our usual 8 to 10:30 game slot. We're going to actually go slightly later. I don't know that the players will necessarily be here, but I wanted to kind of review some of my thoughts on Storm King's Thunder at the conclusion at 10:30, unless the excitement is just there and we need to keep pressing on. That could happen. With me today is my fine cast, and they're being audio checked right now by the guy with the green speaker set on the top row. So let's go through the list. Krista, go first.
Hi, my name is Krista, and my character's name is Elsandra. She's a halfling wild mage sorcerer, and she joined up with the party a little bit later. And basically, this is her first adventure.
Awesome.
And
John,
yeah.
jump in there. We're just doing audio checks. So thank you.
Hey, my name's John. I'm playing Gesh, the red dragonborn fighter, warlock, overdramatic character.
Very opinionated. It's fantastic. Abby, jump in there.
I'm playing Aiden, also a dragonborn, but she is the exact opposite. She is afraid of her shadow, and she is the cleric for the group.
Bruce.
Oh, that's me. He is portraying Traben, a follower of Torm.
All right, and Smurf, make sure you talk yourself. Still
Okay.
thinking about it.
Audio check looks good. I'm the bearded Texan, and I'm playing as Arjak the fighter.
All right, let's get some maps up in here. Actually, and as I'm doing that, Smurf, are you ready with a what happened last time?
I am.
I love these moments.
This one is a hard one to write. So last time on Storm King's Thunder, we found Traben having eye-whitening dreams from his deity. Aiden is visited by hers in a vision, and the rest of the party is kind of left deaf and dumb to their owns if they have one. The whole group takes a boat to Succumber, where they are greeted by a pair of storm giants collecting information on the ordering. They continue to Zelbaros, where everyone goes shopping, except for Aiden, whose social anxiety is mistaken for homelessness. Onward they continue, where they discover a pair of ogres blocking the path, who are quickly dispatched. Let's do this.
Okay, and to give you a sense of where they are located, we have a map that I'm going to go ahead and share with the group real quick. We have Traben here as the icon for the party currently. They are on their way to this little black dot right up there using the Delimbier Road. And so at the conclusion of the last fight, there was they went ahead and settled there because they had some repairs to do on the carts that they were the horse-drawn carts that they had. So down a wheel, they're now 3 spare wheels, and they are headed for Zelbros. Next morning, y'all awake, and is there anything you all want to do special in the morning before we continue forward?
Typical.
Yeah, Arjak will sharpen his axes like he does every morning.
Okay.
Traben will pray.
You pray in the morning?
Every
The paladin
morning.
that you are?
Dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight.
Okay. And as we kind of remembered before, our halfling sorceress, wild magic sorceress, and Arjak, are sitting up front, driver and shotgun. Perfect timing. The dog must go out. Hold on 1 second.
On the road again.
All right. So, it's kind of a nice early spring weather as you all are moving quite a click. The horses that were sold to you in Succumber are actually excellent draft horses. They actually have quite a bit of speed to them. One might actually think that they are kind of like smaller war horses that were never really given time to mature, so they were
No,
utilized
it's
as.
the driver. The
Oh, and
quality
it
of
could
the
be
driver.
it could be the skill of the driver. I'm not going to deny that. The first day on the road to Zelbros, the party has no issues kind of making their way through a day's journey. You all come to a point where you're making camp, and I don't know if there's anything that you in particular want to do. I'm assuming the order for the night's watch is still in effect.
Yep.
Can I find a? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, go right ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to look for a really nice walking stick.
So, like while everyone is setting up camp, you're going to kind of wander slightly. This isn't like a wooded area per se.
Oh, okay.
Right where you're at. As you get slightly farther inroad, you kind of see there's dense forest a ways away, but it starts kind of entering a slightly wooded area up ahead. As you get a little bit farther away from the rivers, it's just a combination of the immense amount of rainfall as well as just the rivers on either side have kind of made the dirt in this area a little not as well packed, so it doesn't sustain really tall trees. Now, granted, you're 2 feet tall, thereabouts, right? So
Yeah.
you might not need a tree to find the branch that you're looking for.
Right.
So I don't
So
want to
do you want
stop
me
you,
to-
but
Do
go
you want me
ahead.
to roll for it or something? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a survival roll.
oh yeah.
Can I go with her and aid in this?
Well, only if you don't want to hunt for the group.
Oh yeah. Don't you want to set up your trap finally?
We have provisions. I'm more worried about separation. I'm gonna forego the trap.
Okay. Well, because there isn't a serious amount of dense woods, wherever. I guess she is kind of small. So yeah, okay. You stick with her.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we
You
get a
said-
good prairie hawk coming through, and she's gone.
Could be. Could be.
Do you want me to roll in the tower? And I remember the advantage wasn't working on mine before. But since
Go
he's
ahead and
helping-
roll in the tower.
And I'll try to roll with advantage because he's helping me, right?
Absolutely. And I'll let you know to roll again if it doesn't come through.
Oh, I think it worked.
did. It worked.
I don't know, it wasn't working last.
You see, so you find a branch and you could definitely use it as a walking stick. But the temperament of your character, I think, would go, this isn't the stick I'm looking for.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Can I help with one of my axes, just kind of knock off any twigs off of it that might be sticking out, just to kind of.
Because of the advantage roll, I'm going to say that
Yeah.
even with you doing that, it did
Yeah.
not come through the way
Well-
what she's specifically looking for.
Right. I'm not saying so much more of just clean it up a little bit. I'm not saying I'm gonna woodwork this on a lathe and then oil it and just get it a little bit more functional, as opposed to walking with a branch.
My point is, I think
No, I'm just gonna throw it away.
that's the thought.
Aw.
I mean,
my
if she was
end goal is I want to get a walking stick and then to put the diamond on there for the
Right.
orb.
uh,
That
Of
So
course, once you throw the stick away, Arjack goes running after it.
So, what's the rest of the party doing? I mean, you all have kind of come into a sense of normalcy for camp, right? Where there's a certain set of iconic moments that occur, prayers, planting seeds the next morning, and whatnot. But Gesh, how about you? Do you have anything that you're particularly going to want to do?
Just doing what he normally does, which is basically a bunch of nothing. He's gonna set up camp and just chill out and relax. He's the easy camper guy. Okay, you
Okay.
guys go do your stuff. He's just gonna hang.
Okay. I want to make sure that Aiden and Traven have a chance if there's something in particular, but otherwise I'm going to push forward.
Well, normally, I mean, if it's a routine kind of thing, what Traven is always doing is, he prays, like I said, at dawn, noon, sunset, and midnight. Whenever they camp for the evening, he will do his martial exercises with his weapon.
Okay.
And then he will when they settle down or he settles down for the evening, he will sharpen his sword, clean his armor, that kind of thing.
Okay. I, honestly, it's so close to Succumber, but not, and it's a well-traveled road. But you do notice that the amount of travel leading down this direction kind of stopped when you all crossed over a bridge slightly earlier in the day. That there is less and less desire to head this direction, and a lot of it is you remember hearing stories as people were telling you that there isn't really much civilization unless you're really planning on travel really far. So basically, from where y'all are at, heading east in Faerun, the likelihood that you're going to run into someone that isn't a 20 carriage caravan is probably pretty slight, right? The next morning, it's an uneventful one. I'm not even having you roll because I have nothing planned for right then and there. And the next morning, again, Aiden, you plant a seed and the prayers go on.
Plant and pray.
I will say that Aiden, again, when you get into that moment of solitude with, please say your deity's name again. I caught her mid-bite.
Shantea.
Shantea, right. There's a moment, again, that you have this kind of, not an urgency, but that you're, it's more like you have this overwhelming feeling that your deity sets you on a path and isn't really having any intention of you straying from that there's a desire for her to find out more about what's going on with the giants and why they're kind of rampaging through the land, and a concern on her part, being kind of the deity behind the harvest, that anything that could be occurring with the giants right now is in direct contrast to that which she is all about. Okay. The next morning, it's actually a little bit cooler, which is surprising because, again, you're getting later into spring. And you'll do a slight climb as you are heading down this road. It's not so noticeable that you're going to, breaking out the pitons and, climbing anything. But there's definitely a grade that's slightly elevating, and you get kind of a cooler breeze in this area as you walk by. Can I go ahead and have some, the carriage itself is not covered, so anyone can make a perception check if they'd like. However, if they're not in, the people that are in the front driving and shotgun will do this with advantage.
Yeah. Do you want active or tower?
Let's go ahead and do tower.
Perception. It's a big fat 0 bonus.
Right, me too.
Because I'm wise.
Okay, so everyone who's not in the front seat, because, wow, you're with advantage even. Arjack, you got a 2 with advantage. Okay, so
He's up there just like
exactly. You actually happen to take notice that the amount of wildlife in the area that you're in is increasing fairly dramatically. There's a sense of that it's intangible, but you can kind of feel it. Like the hairs on your skin are standing up, and you can kind of feel there's a fey magic around you right now. It's as you kind of keep going, the intensity of this is growing. And you all make, again, really excellent time on this road. It's around, I would say, probably later or mid-afternoon, maybe 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And that's about the moment when, let's see who got the highest, Gesh. You notice as this squirrel is just It's a singular squirrel, and there's just enough branches hanging over the area that it's jumping back and forth, and looking looking directly at what the party is doing. The next thing you know, as you're paying attention to that, a crow lands directly on your shoulder, and you can actually hear it make out to you in a weird crowing sound as though it's trying to mimic common the words, my mistress needs help.
Well, I've heard many voices in many different ways, but it's the first time a crow has spoken. Who is your mistress, oh black messenger from the skies?
You can tell. Roll an insight check for me real quick. I mean, this is going to be kind of weird because
this is going to be painful.
What now?
This is going to be painful. Tower?
Yes, and anyone who's in the back of the thing, until you inform the front, you all can do any of the rolls that I'm saying, because you're seeing this crow land on Gesh's shoulder.
And over there is some grass.
Arjak's just like, and that's the third orc I killed, and you can see it from this tower. Let me tell you about
really?
the fourth one. And he's got like 35 more to go.
Okay.
You see this little scratch here? I got it when I closed my hand in the stall door.
So the all three people in the back, you can kind of see that the crow is doing its best to try to like make out other sounds, and it just isn't working. And so it slowly starts to take off from Gesh's shoulder. And again, I want to make sure that I'm using the words right. You again hear it crow out, "Mistress needs help," and it's kind of like it's come off the carriage, and you're just starting to enter slightly denser woods at this point, but it's not hard to spot, and it's just hovering, and you can kind of see it's hovering, and then the carriage keeps going, and it kind of flies over, and it's like looking back and forth, like, are you coming?
Yeah. So, Alessandra, hold the wagon up.
I think Gesh said go faster.
No.
No, he said stop.
He definitely didn't say that. You need to pay attention more.
You're the one talking about fingers and stall doors. And...
Well, you're telling me about all your stupid scars.
I mean, but this one down here is really cool.
Traven, did you see that bird?
I heard, yes.
It's speaking.
Can we still see the thing hovering?
Yeah, but it's you can kind of tell it's like it's trying to. Birds don't have a natural affinity to be a helicopter, right? So they kind of he's flapping his wings straight off, and you can tell it's tiring him, and then he kind of does a swooping notion, and then lands on a branch near where he was hovering.
Wait, you said the bird talked to you?
It spoke.
The bird landed. Yes.
But we could catch it and sell it for a lot in the next town if we got a talking bird.
It is asking us for help.
I mean,
so it says it has a mistress which needs our help. I don't know if any of you have picked it up, especially you two in the front, but things have felt a little peculiar for a little while now. I think we should go and at least investigate what this is all about.
I mean, I've helped a few mistresses in my time, if you know what I'm saying. I'll get another one on that belt.
I would like
I don't
to
think that's what it
punch
means,
him in
but
the gut.
maybe.
I would like to elbow him really hard in his gut.
Good.
Bird,
so
show
at the
us
DM.
the way.
If you would like, I can make a roll for it.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Is it strength roll? Or
Yes, go ahead.
Yes!
Let me know if you cast a spell when you do that.
No. Oh my god!
Okay, wait a minute.
-1 is a 19, but...
Wow! So you crit as you nudge. And Arjak, you actually, you have this tiny little thing going, stop that! and all of a sudden you're on your butt on the other side of the carriage on the ground. She just kind of knocked you straight off the carriage.
You just one-inch punched him.
Yes,
you can almost hear
exactly.
your kidney going, no!
Hey guys,
It's not right to talk about other people like that.
under the cart's clear, just down here checking for, traps and things go away under here. We're good. He stands back up and kind of.
Arjack, you're bleeding a little, right?
It's from the last fight. Just to clean up.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right, well, show us the way. Oh,
Once he gets back on,
Shadow Raven.
I'll start up the cart and.
Are we walking through the woods?
I think we have to walk.
Was it through the? I mean, I don't know. Which
So-
I
way
don't
is
think
the-
we can take the.
so if you start to take the cart into the woods, the first thing you notice is that the first set of tires or wheels on the cart drop directly fast into the. It's still very soft land.
Well, I
away
mean, like,
from.
I wouldn't. Okay, I just didn't know that it was in the woods that it wanted us to go. I
it
wouldn't
was-
have driven off.
So yeah, so it's like hovering, but it's like trying to every once in a while leave the area north of the road.
Okay.
Should we hide the cart?
Maybe we don't get out of the wagon.
I think we should unhitch the horses and take them with us, so nobody steals them.
But, okay. I
We
mean,
don't have to ride them. We could put our supplies on them and then just lead them with us.
So, Traven, you're kind of convinced as you're hearing all this discussion that the bird's just going.
And I go like this too. I'm like,
Let us just make haste. Park the thing. And let us move on.
What I will say is that I'm not even gonna have you roll this. As far as you can see in front of you, and as far as you can see behind you, there is no one on this road.
we haven't seen any traffic for a while.
we could, like, unhitch one of the wheels so it's harder for someone to steal it.
Yeah. Bird, show us the way.
Or
Chris is going to walk off and start following this bird.
So you kind of notice again that there's a split second when that squirrel that you saw darting across the thing, Gesh, you actually kind of see it hop in one fell swoop, kind of almost knocks the bird off the branch and keeps going and darts into the woods. The bird kind of recovers as it goes, you start heading into this sort of wooded area. Give me a perception check, everyone. And if this isn't desirable from a where you're currently located, feel free to make that change.
Let me put this into actual verbiage and wording. Could I use maybe a nature? No, I don't want to do. I'll do perception. Thank you. Never mind.
There's actually a reason why perception is the preferred method here. Aiden and Traven, both of you are the first to hear a really, really high-pitched voice that's kind of like... it's not piercing to the ears. It's just a matter of being childlike and kind of exuberant. And you kind of hear it pouting and crabby. Okay, I don't know how else to... describe this particular noise, and it's coming from the tree directly in front of you, and because you heard it, you were able to visualize the fact that there's a pixie, and you can see that it seems to be having an argument with the tree. Be right back.
Arjack will kind of whisper. Now I've heard about this when the Pixies dip a little too deep into their shroom collection. If you know what I'm talking about, they start arguing with things that don't argue back.
I pulled the wrong
wind
one.
that thin up there? That's affecting your thought process? I mean, geez, man.
And I do apologize, I pulled the wrong pixie, but you do see it kind of, because it's not really being, it's not trying to hide. Anyone, let's see, who do we have that would be more nature focused in the group?
Aiden?
Let's do Aiden and Arjack. Go ahead and roll a nature check.
This is gonna hurt.
In the tower, or?
No. This I want to know.
Oh,
show live.
Sorry,
That's
I
fine.
rolled in the tower.
Arjack, you actually rolled a 17.
Hey,
Okay, so Arjack, not always Mr. Knowledge when it comes to nature, though, somehow recalls in his past this notion of pixies not being, more often than not, are hidden, and they like staying hidden. The fact that you have this one who is not making herself scarce is already starting to be kind of a weird situation.
Is the bird anywhere in sight?
Yes. Let me bring Talk out real quick. Do you see him?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
And how's the bird interacting with this pixie?
So, he is actually, let's see, let me make sure I get this right. Okay, he is kind of annoying her. Like, when he comes up to her, he kind of hits her with his wings, and then flies into the air, and then screams out, or tries to squawk out, mistress needs help.
I don't like this.
I'm just going to say this seems like a domestic dispute and we don't need to be getting involved. I mean, we can just let them do their thing and maybe notify the authorities in the next town.
I don't know about this. This
Hello,
doesn't seem
mistress.
right.
Are you in need of assistance?
So, are you talking to the pixie?
Shouting that.
Okay.
Shouting that. Yeah.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Yes, it's not fair. It's not fair. My sister knows it's my turn."
Oh no.
Y'all remember the goat fellas that we encountered? Just saying.
We've
Faye.
left the trail.
Yeah.
we've left the path.
See, there's two rules. So,
Arjack will move up too.
okay.
And battle axe shield.
Okay,
Just
I
'cause
mean,
that's what he do.
as soon as you kind of wield your battle axe and shield, there's like a hesitation, like, what?
It's more like it's resting on his shoulder. He's not like, ugh.
Okay,
Be like, it's just ready.
okay, and so the pixie in front of you just turns around and just starts like beating on the tree, and it's like, "It's my turn! It's my turn!"
I wonder if they got a bunch of pixies in there who make cookies. And he kind of nudges Gesh.
Is she waiting for the privy?
Those are elves.
Elves are too big to fit in trees. Why'd you say that?
Unless they make cookies.
Push them really hard to go in there just fine. Little winged one, what is the issue here?
So as you approach, it's the first guess. You now can hear a voice coming from the other side, which must be interior to the tree, and it's you can hear another voice, very super similar to the voice that you're hearing outside, albeit muffled and more like, "It's not your turn. It's my turn. I get to be in the tree. I don't know what you're talking about." Can you actually understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I get 6 more hours. I don't know why you think it's your turn. It's my turn! And so, unfortunately, any voice inside said tree would not know that you're there.
Understood. What agreement is there about this entry or departure of the tree that you have?
Well, the pixie kind of that's on the outside of the tree turns and faces you and just goes, "It's my turn, and she needs to get out, and I don't know how this isn't right, And all of a sudden you hear from inside the tree the voice kind of going back and forth and saying, we had an agreement. We're supposed to be in the tree, each taking a turn for 24 hours. And it's not her turn yet. It's 6 more hours. I don't understand what her problem is. I'm not letting her in.
So Arjak is going to look at the pixie on the outside and go, just be clear, it's your turn?
And all of a sudden, roll me a perception check. In the tower.
Okay. With twice advantage, right?
No. Okay.
Draven's listening to the other trees.
You don't. Nice. Traben is. You're hearing the wind kind of rustling through the trees, but it's not a lot of noise like what you're observing right here. And you almost see kind of a blank stare from the outside Pixie Arjak, but it's just you can't really tell whether or not it's a blank stare or if it's just like super pouty mode, right? Like they've become the ultimate Pokemon. This is their super form. And she's wearing, I actually have I have a picture. Where did I put it?
You have a depressed pixie picture?
Well, no, but where did I put? I can't find it. Okay, well, sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Once again, explain to me, he points to the pixie outside, what the actual agreement is. I assume it's verbal.
Well, we've been here taking care of this tree. This tree is very sad. In fact, it is so sad, it needs us. It needs us a lot. It's my turn.
How do you know the tree just don't want to be put out of its own misery?
And you hear a voice coming in from the inside the tree going, "Oh, don't do that! The tree is... We love the tree. We've been here since..." And she starts listing all these things that have occurred in the natural world. I need everyone to roll a history check that's anywhere near this that would be willing to listen to this conversation.
-1.
Oh, I wanted to move up too.
I'm moving you. Okay. So, let's see who rolled what. Okay. Aiden, you get this. Gesh, you get it. No one else gets this. She is listing off things that have happened over 550 years ago.
Okay.
Okay? Now, Arjak, with your nature check that you did about Pixies, and you would at least know this, Pixies don't live this long. At all.
Oh.
So, but there's nothing, I mean, their movements, their behaviors, they look like Pixies.
So Arjak is going to kind of lift his shield up a little bit, and he's going to kind of point to it, and he's like, "Come talk to me for a moment."
The Pixie?
Kind of like for a place for them to land on. Yeah, the one on the outside.
She jumps into a branch higher than you can reach. And I mean, this is a massive tree. Like, it is huge, okay? It's actually surprisingly tall, okay?
Okay.
And she's like, no, it's my turn. I know what you're going to make me do. No. Now,
I'm going to make you talk to me so I understand what?
Can I have Elsandra make a perception check?
Okay. Also, just because I don't know if Roll20 does this, but I'm lucky because...
Oh, right. So you haven't rolled a
halfling.
1.
Okay.
Okay. You don't notice this. Traben, you'd be the only other one that could see this.
What do you need, a perception?
Yes. Okay. You heard the fact that Gesh was like noted. Actually, Gesh, did you actually ever bring up the squirrel thing?
No.
Okay, so Traven, you notice this squirrel that's just chucking nuts at your head. It's just like he's just like acorn you, and he's amazingly accurate with it.
Oh.
Traven is going to look at the squirrel and go, "Please stop that."
So the squirrel kind of jumps in this direction, but still on a branch. And have you ever seen a pointer, like a dog that's a pointer breed?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I needed the north-south or the verbal yes, and I didn't see either, or hear either, so there we go. Okay, so it's like at the end of the branch, and it's like about to take off, like it's about to dive, potentially to this tree next to it, but it's like, it's moving, and it's looking at you, Traven.
And it's pointing at the tree to the north of us? Or...
No, it's not pointing, because the way that it's kind of like at a complete, trying to lunge out, so all of its appendages have to be hunkered down on the branch, right? So it's waiting on you. How do you respond? Like, what are you going to do?
I mean, but its nose and everything is facing the tree to the north, or it's like looking at me?
It's so 90% of what it does, sorry, I lost the pointer. Boom, 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 boom. Is heading kind of in that direction, but when it doesn't hear you move, it kind of looks back, and then it looks out, and then it looks back.
I'll look in that direction and
okay.
Intently look in that. I mean, like move around to where I can see around the other tree and actually look in that direction. And then look back at the squirrel, and then look at that direction.
Okay, so the second you are there, it jumps on your shoulder. Okay, I can't represent it because you know how weird Fancy Grounds is with icons over icons. But for the time being, it's sitting on your shoulder, and it's still kind of lunging forward. Now, I need to take a break. Okay. Everyone else, you don't notice this. So tell me about what's going on with you dealing with this pixie.
I would like to touch the tree.
Okay.
Can I make like an Arcana check?
Sure,
on, like,
absolutely.
The Pixies or whatever.
Please.
Or like the tree, or just in the tower or open.
I think we need to see this open this time.
Oops. Oh, that was not a good roll.
Yeah, it's a tree.
It's a tree.
It's a tree. It's a very nice tree. You kind of grew up in a very rural area surrounded by trees, and this is possibly the nicest tree you've ever seen. If it was a pine tree, it's not. You'd think this would be the celebratory winter solstice tree that your town needs. Okay?
I mean, I can understand why you're upset you're not in the tree. It's a really nice tree.
It's a nice tree! And then she's just like pounding with her tiny little fist. And you can actually see like just tiny little bits of bark like bail off of the tree.
Like a woodpecker or something.
Yeah, she's upset. Aiden,
So
you move up. I'm sorry.
I move up.
Yeah, I wanted to move up too. Sorry.
Go ahead and make your move.
Here.
Gesh, what were you about to say?
Diminutive tantrum maker. Why is your tree sad?
And you kind of see like the pixie on the outside just kind of keeps sighing. She's like, it's just my turn. And the pixie on the inside's like, we take care of him. Oh, sorry. We take care of him. He's sad. We don't like it that he's sad. But when we're around, he's happy.
What are you doing to make him happy, though?
We keep him company.
How come you guys both can't do that inside the tree?
It is a big tree.
Because
Yeah, why can't you share?
Because only one can be in the tree at a time.
Why?
It's his rules.
Why?
It's the tree's rules.
Well, then what does the tree say about turn sharing or turn swapping?
He just wants us to stay around, so we don't. It's how. How do I explain this? Only one of us can be in here at a time, and by being connected to the tree, he knows we love him.
Hey,
So-
Cash, what's that thing when someone kidnaps someone else and they hold them hostage so long they like to be kept around still?
Stockholm syndrome.
Well, I don't know
Marriage?
that. Sounds like these little pixie things got some of that syndrome thing.
So,
I
how
have-
do you, in voice from the tree, know what time of day it is to know there's 6 more units of random time left before the other tantronic pixie or small winged thing on the leaves says it's time to go in? How do you know it's 6 more hours? Are you just conniving longer time?
No, it's dusk to dusk. It's still light outside. I can see through the tiny little branches there's light.
It's so cute.
Aiden has something she wants to do.
Okay.
Looking on the ground around the tree, depending on what type of tree it is, are there acorns or those little spinny things, seeds from the tree?
It's a massive redwood-looking tree, and it's
Oh.
completely out of place from every other tree
Okay.
that's in this area.
But like trees do.
Yeah,
seeds
it's
that they
got
fall-
funk that fell down. That's what you mean,
Okay.
right?
I'm gonna start planting those because, I don't want the tree to be lonely. So if I plant its children, they'll grow and the tree won't be lonely.
Can I search the tree for a way in?
Sure. Go ahead and roll
Investigation?
survival.
Survival?
Yep, survival. Now,
That's
while
fine.
everyone has been going on talk, the bird, who is screaming at the top of its lungs, it starts making a sound. Talk! 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 And then it swoops down and tries to knock the pixie off the branch.
Jeez.
Is tree voice up higher than us, or is it pretty low in the tree? Like, if we were to try to judge this,
So if Gesh is the right height, that if Gesh went forward and did this, punched forward, okay? That's where it would be coming out of.
okay, our Jack would like to try to climb the tree.
Okay, pause a moment. Traven, what are you doing?
It was great because
Well,
your screen
does-
froze.
Does
A
he
little bit,
see
yeah.
anything over here?
I mean, there's a lot of shrubbery, right?
Shrubbery.
Again, this is one of those areas where it's not dense woods. This pocket of trees is almost like an oasis of trees, and then it's like as you go out, it's more bushes and stuff.
Traben is going to open his awareness. He's going to look. He's going to channel. No, it's not a channel divinity, but he's going to allow his senses to expand, and he's going to use his divine sense. And for the next turn, any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover, I will know about.
Okay, hold on a second.
Does it include Fae? Sometimes it includes Fae.
No, it does not include Fae. Celestial fiend or undead.
Oy Fae.
I will know of its presence, but not its identity. I will know what it is, but not its name.
Steve the tree.
I have to be honest with you. I don't know quite if this would fit, but I don't think it would. So I'm going to say no. You don't sense anything.
Okay, so that would be 60 feet. So, nothing.
Nothing.
Squirrel, what are you trying to show me?
Okay, are you standing still and not moving?
Yes.
It's like, boom, hitting you in the cheek now.
Where?
And it kind of...
Run to it, squirrel.
It jumps off your shoulder and runs in the same direction, so it's running over here.
All right, so I will follow it.
Okay.
This is what
Everyone
happens when you leave the path.
Everyone in the group, please go ahead and make a perception check, and it's a really high DC. Go ahead and just do it in the open. You're looking for over 16.
That's not gonna go well for me.
Arjek, you don't notice anything.
I'm gonna climb that tree.
2 away.
Okay, so Gesh, you're the only one who noticed when you kind of turned around. Trayben's gone.
Everybody, we seem to have a missing Traben now. Traben! Traben!
All right, so Arjak, whatever inspired you to climb the tree, you're just doing it, right? No ego to contain the id that is Arjak, right?
Yep, just gonna
You,
climb
like,
a tree to...
Get in there, and all of a sudden you kind of go up to the next area. There's no nice branches for you to connect to, like right at your height, though. Okay.
Okay.
And as you try to get to the next thing, you feel yourself slipping.
Okay.
And if you don't tell me what's going to happen, I'm going to become your id.
I would like to do a strength check.
Yeah, no, your strength check won't save you here. There's just nothing to
Okay.
grab onto.
Can I grab one of my smaller axes and kind of just hew it into the tree to use it as a...
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
Bad
So the axe goes into the tree and it stops you for a minute and you're like, I got this. And all of a sudden a branch just comes through and just smacks you and you go sailing.
Pillow.
Hopping willow time.
As I go flying through the air, can I just yell, magical tree?
The smack is substantial though, and you take 10 points of damage as the branch hits you, and you kind of and you fall from a small height. Everyone else who's like noticed
Hold
that's
on.
by the tree when this happens just kind of notices that the second it does that, the branch almost goes straight back into its normal position, and it doesn't continue to move.
Like a nothing to see here.
As it's, you know what? I think because of the position, both of the ladies in the group would realize that they kind of seen something like that happen before when they think back to family members when they went on picnics. Like a mosquito would get on them. All of a sudden,
Oh yeah.
okay. That's pretty much what you saw. The tree act that out. And the Pixies up on the top on one of the branches laughing hysterically.
Basically,
I want in.
What is the point of all this?
I mean, I do got a long bow.
is this just what Gesh is next to? Is that a rock that I walked up to?
Yeah, it's a rock that actually has a bit of a shape to it.
Yep.
You kind of get the sense that if people had colonized this area and they thought the tree was lovely, this would have been actually a nice bench.
Yep. Well, Gesh is leaning up against it. And as he's leaning it, he just is gonna like go, huh, as he watches Arjak go overhead. Not bad form.
Actually,
Get some distance on that.
Arjak, when you first stand up before you come back, roll a perception check.
Okay.
Here, squirrel, 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 squirrel.
Not deception. Do you want this open or tower?
Open.
12.
So you kind of notice when you stand up because of where you landed past the tree, you're like, huh, there's Traben. Traben, roll me a wisdom save.
Oh, actually, can I take that movement back then?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh shit, that squirrel has got you by the nuts.
Oh, I had a.
Just kidding.
By the nuts, really.
Sorry, I didn't even mean it at all.
Do we
I
still have
still
bless
have
on
a.
us?
I still have a bless on. Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna have to have you re-roll. Sorry.
It was a 18.
Oh, you took the bless off?
Well, if you just
Well, I
subtracted
couldn't,
it.
but I just subtracted the 2 from the D4.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Do I notice anything strange with Traven? Like, does he look drugged or influenced or?
Or squirrely?
No, you don't. But you do notice that you don't see the squirrel, so you're just kind of like, what the? Where is he going?
Here, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Here,
Can I-
squirrel.
All right, roll 1. Don't divide the party. Can I give haste?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Oh,
full on, just like.
I was
sprint.
like, when did you learn 3rd level magic spell?
Not quite that.
How fast? How far can I move? Like full on, like he's hustling because this isn't normal.
So it's just you.
Double your move?
It's double your move.
All right, so
Probably 60.
there.
So you wouldn't be able to go through the tree though.
Okay, hold on. Can you clear that?
I don't know. Can I? Is there a way for me to clear that? Actually,
There
no
we
one.
go.
Oh, there we go.
It cleared. And then
Yeah, that's really 10. But go ahead.
and
So you-
then okay, so I'll go to there.
No, you'd have to be less than that. Keep going less. Keep going less. Keep going less.
Oh,
Keep
each of
going
the
less.
squares is 10
Keep
feet?
going less. Keep going less.
What? Why are you?
I have a reason. Okay, there.
Rain?
Can you please make a wisdom save for me?
Oh
Yes.
no.
In the tower.
In the tower.
Don't do that. No.
Okay. You get to that moment and you're running full force. Did you call? I don't remember you saying you called back to the rest of the party.
I did not.
So, you hit this moment and all of a sudden everything stressful disappears.
Ooh. Oh.
That is the most wonderful smell I've ever smelled.
Is nice.
I don't have any need to go fast, but I'm going in this direction.
I am frolicking.
Oh no! It's
Slowly,
you're in
in
an
slow motion.
almost zombie walk of like
You've entered the Twilight Zone.
yeah.
It's okay, I'm taller. They can see me from further.
You're major chillaxing, man.
It's right at this moment that Talk starts spinning around the tree again, trying to hit Pixie, and at some point, kind of comes out to here. And is like flapping his wings hard. Everyone near the tree can now give me another perception check to see if they can find Arjak.
Hey, you guys.
Open or close tower?
In the tower.
Oh, wait.
It was the strawberries, I tell you. It was the strawberries.
Okay. So Elsandra, and it might just be because she's the closest, happens to be the only one in the group there that recognizes that Arjak is just heading off into a direction. And wait a minute, Treyben's over there too. Momentary pause. Treyben, I need another. The squirrel is running around like around and around an area over here, and I need another perception check. And I'm sorry, let me not move you. You move yourself. Okay. You just can take notice of what looks like tiny, tiny shoes coming out of a bush. Right here.
Bush shoes are bad.
Bush shoes.
Tiny, tiny shoes.
Like infant size or
Like pixie size shoes. In fact, they're purple. And the pixie on the outside of the tree had purple shoes.
Traven will kneel down or stoop down and look.
Okay. I need you. First off, Arjak's going to move 10 feet closer.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to make a initiative roll. Alessandra, because you happen to see all this go down, you get to have an initiative roll. At the end of the first round, everyone else can have an initiative roll.
Can I make a wisdom save?
That's pretty good.
Hello,
aren't these
little
our char-
pixie.
Aren't these not the right character tokens though for us? Because they don't have the dots on them.
Oh, you're so right.
I was gonna mention that earlier, but I didn't know if we were gonna need to go into combat or something.
Nope. That's excellent. Sorry about that. So, for those of you who are in the know for Fantasy Grounds, you have to pull the tokens from the combat tracker in order to see a little green dot. It shows the healthy.
Also, technically my effect has to be resolved, but I mean, I'm gonna cast the same spell again, so you could just leave it.
What is it now?
The effect?
No. I'm sorry. What spell did you cast?
No, I said I will cast it when it's my turn.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying because you left the effect up for my AC bonus.
Ah, my bad. Okay.
That's all. But, I mean, I'm just going to cast it, so you can leave it. So.
Okay. What was your initiative, Traben?
14?
Was it 14? Okay. You get right there, just as the bush in front of you all of a sudden takes on a new form, and it lashes out with its vines and tries to pull you directly into itself. In doing so... Dun, 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 dun.
Not
Let's stop
supposed
a
to leave
Yaga.
the path.
With the shoes. The feet. Oh, I just did something. What the heck?
That's our new party name, the Path Followers.
Playing Pathfinder.
How the heck did I just do that?
Did yeah, okay, good. It attempts to it reaches out with its thorn vines, and it kind of finds little pieces inside your armor to try to both attack and snag. Lucky for you, though, it does very poorly, and that probably has a lot to do with your metal armor just shielding you in a complete airtight type fashion. But the vines, as it kind of rolls out, you kind of notice it has reach. Okay. Alessandra, you're up.
Okay, so do I see it attack it?
Oh,
Attack
you
Traben?
you see Traben, because you see Arjak, and then beyond Arjak, who's walking kind of weird, there's Traben, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's this like greenery that just reaches out around it, and he's obscured from your vision.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what's happening.
That is correct.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right.
Is that a level 1 spell?
Yeah, it is. Oh, roll the other thing.
I do?
Yes.
Oh,
You're
geez.
welcome.
Is it 19?
Okay, so she's a wild mage, and you cast grease centered on yourself. So all of a sudden, just grease spews everywhere. The pixie that was like laughing hysterically when Arjak got chucked, it's like slips right off the thing and kind of forgets, hits the ground, and is kind of dazed at your feet. The crow, even though it keeps kind of every once in a while talking about his mistress needing help, kind of flies in a pattern that is not unlike absolute humor. All the 9 squares around Alessandra right now treat as difficult terrain. Okay.
Your new nickname is Exxon Valdez.
All right. So you have your mage armor. Is there anything else you want to do?
I wanted to move a little bit closer.
Okay.
So that's 10, 15, 20. I'll move there.
Okay.
And the spell doesn't go with me. It's just on that spot.
The grease? No, yeah, it's just you just had an explosion of grease just emanate from your
Right,
body.
yeah, I don't know. I guess you could still see the aura around me. I don't know why. Oh, no, never mind. Just never mind.
Okay. Next up is Traben.
Does he realize that this thing is attacking him?
I think it's clear because you kind of like look around you and this one tree or this one bush that's right in front of you kind of has reached out. If it's not attacking you, it's trying to keep you right nearby.
Is it have
It's
a
trying to
face of
imprison
any-
you if it can. It's clear to you that it's either attacking you or trying to imprison you.
He will yell, "Be wary! The plants are alive!" And he will draw his sword and hit it.
Do it.
Oh, that's nice.
And he misses.
So there's something about just the vines that even though it didn't quite attach, it kind of is restraining you in its effect, and you can't actually get that sword out to connect with
Where's
this.
the squirrel?
The squirrel is right where the S is. I don't know if you see that or not.
Yeah.
And it's dodging. Like the plant's reaching out to try to snag the squirrel, and it's kind of like bobbing up and down. And it actually takes a moment, and it kind of like literally like moves away from the plant for a second, and you can see it fold its arms like, I was trying to distract it for you. All right, let's see. Who is next? I guess it goes back to the top of the order. Has everyone else near the tree rolled for their initiative?
Negative.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Arjak has to go. And he moves 10 feet closer, and now I need you to you get one more chance for your wisdom save.
Come on. Tower?
Oh, yes. Holy cow! So you hit the wisdom save on the nose. So just as you approach this point, you're just like, wait a minute, it's just a flower. What's going on with Traben?
I would like to get very angry.
Well, unfortunately, you have to do that at the conclusion of your turn. So it is its
Okay.
go.
It's everything. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So the plant again, Traben, you kind of notice as even more branches shoot out and kind of envelop and pull you back. The best thing that you can think of is that this is like a plant version of the game Hungry Hungry Hippo. You know, and bring y'all close. Okay.
Do you need the rest of us to roll initiative first, though, so you know how we fall in the order?
Absolutely, please.
Do you want me in there as well?
Yes. Go ahead. As long as someone doesn't get... Oh, Arjak, you had to get the 22, huh? You're killing me, man.
That's my job, is to make your job more difficult.
You're killing me, Smalls. Okay, so we're going to go back a second. Arjak,
Yes.
the plant still believes you're under its influence. So it's not making an attack to you. What would you like to do here?
Well, axes are good for chopping, and I would like to chop.
This axe was made for chopping.
And am I attacking Pesty? No, that's the squirrel. I'm doing the plant.
The plant.
I do not want to target Traven, though. There we go.
That might be bad.
All right, solid hit. You kind of swing down, and it connects directly with the branches that are trying to envelop Traven. Go ahead and roll damage, but not very well. It's more of a push. It's like you swung down with your axe and you hit it with the wooden handle much more than the blade.
I would like to action surge and chop again.
All right, so now you're pulling the axe back out. Let's see what happens on the backswing.
Nice.
Excellent connection. and far more damage. You actually notice that when you literally pull your axe back with a sense of violence, right? That it clips through some of the branches, and the branches exude this white, like gooey, tacky blood or kind of gunkiness coming out of the plant.
Ew.
Can I yell to the group?
Sure.
It's juicy.
Oh, excellent. All right, the plant's
Well,
not too
I'm greasy.
The plant's none too happy with either of you, and it will, instead of going after Traben, choose to go after the character that's done damage to it.
Bring it on.
So it reaches out, and Arjak had been like walking, kind of meandering. Next thing, it's like it reaches out. Arjak's first thing it notices is that it feels the sting of the thorns from the branches that reach out, and it's not so much that it's doing damage as much as you're not going anywhere. You're coming to me.
Okay.
And let's do the damage first.
Oh shit!
I would like to. How much damage was that?
13.
I would like to use my Stone Stin's endurance, please.
Is that actually something you can do after the die roll?
It is a reaction. Let me. I believe it's after.
I mean, because doesn't it just put you back up
when
to
you
1
take
hit point?
damage, you can use your reaction to roll a d12. So it's when I take damage.
Sure.
Oh,
Roll a
okay.
d12.
And it's plus my Constitution modifier.
Sure, just roll a d12.
Which one is it?
It's
It's
the one next to the d20.
Okay.
And then what's
So
your...
six less? Or let me make sure Constitution's 3. Nope, it's 5 less.
Okay. So, I believe... Let's see. How much damage... So you were
Flex
down
away
by...
the pay.
It exceeded by what? 1 here? By
Yeah.
1. So you're at 4 hit points.
No, the exceeds doesn't matter.
No, but I had to figure out... He's removing the amount of damage.
Oh,
Right.
right.
So,
right.
so he takes back 5 points of damage, so 4 total. So you got 4 hit points, but Arjak, you're grappled. You cannot. There's.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Better be
unconscious
than
effect on
alive
it.
than dead.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
He's got the unconscious effect on him because Fantasy Grounds did that automatically when he
Ah.
exceeded his hit points. So
There we go. Okay. So so you're grappled and you're basically effectively lying prone on the ground with the vines wrapped all around you. Elsandra.
Okay. Is there any way reasonably that I think I could damage the plant and not Arjak?
I think you have one spell that's auto hitting
Okay.
that would be useful.
That's
in
like
this
the only
situation.
one I could use.
I don't know.
That's what
I
I
would
think.
let me put it this way. I'd roll percentile dice to see if it had additional effects. But definitively not, magic missile.
Real talk, I'm muscly. Do it.
Do. Oh,
Do what you gotta do.
I'll just do magic.
So Traben, right now with all the branches going against Arjak, you can see the incomplete that just underneath the layers of the vines and whatnot, there is the same pixie that you saw on the tree right there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, fake pixie. She's dead. Okay, here we go. All 3 of them are going to the plant.
All
And
right.
that was a first level spell.
You know what?
I was gonna
Let's
say.
just- Yep. All right. No special side effects here. As 3 little darts dance from your hands, it hits the bush in a particular way, and Traben, you see this happen as the force impact of these tiny little darts does substantial damage to the plant in front of you. The 2 players behind, Gesh and Aiden, you happen to notice again her whole body surge and then recess again as she's firing these magic darts out at the world. All right. Who is next? Aiden.
Why did we leave the path?
Ah. Please tell me I didn't cause any damage on anyone.
You get to the plant.
Yeah.
Well, that's silly.
Can I see? That's really far away. I probably can't see our Jack and Trademan.
Probably
You can see
not.
Arjack is no longer standing, I would assume.
Well, you can tell that Arjack isn't there.
I'm not sure if either one of us knows what's going
Oh,
on.
Yeah.
I was just checking a rule, but can I, because I have 2 sorcery points, can I refresh one of my spell slots?
Do you do that with your bonus action or something?
Yeah, that's what I was checking.
That's fine.
bonus, so.
That's fine.
Act.
All right, Aiden, what are you going to do?
Can we see what's going on up there with the Doppler plant?
Well, I'll
we
tell you
have
right
any
now,
clue what's going on?
Elsandra's too short to block your line of sight. You're a
Yeah.
6-foot dragonborn. She's a 2-foot halfling, 2 foot and a
True.
quarter. I don't know. Thereabouts.
I blocked your entire vision.
I will hold my action that if Gesh moves,
Right, yeah.
I will move too.
All right. Excellent.
I will follow him. Yeah.
Traben, you're up.
Traven is going to scream as loud as he can that there is unnatural magic afoot. Beware the Pixies. And he is going to then cast, as a bonus action, Divine Favor on himself. He is going to call out to Torm and ask Torm to help him slay this creature, whatever it may be.
Okay. What does it mean in game terms? Smiting?
Divine Favor is it adds, my weapon is suddenly glowing.
Excellent.
Wait.
It does, I think, 1d4 radiant damage as well.
Your prayer empowers you with divine radiance until the spell ends, and it lasts for up to a minute. Your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 radiant on a hit.
All right, let's do this.
Let me-
Hey, that's our catchphrase.
It's
Let's
already
do
on
this.
him. He's going to swing at the plant. And
the thing.
miss.
Oh, I need you to roll
Miss
another
badly.
d20, please.
And miss badly.
Oh, to the point that you no longer have control of your weapon. You kind of, you just were kind of off foot,
Oh no.
and the handle of the weapon, with this anticipated radiant damage coming, it let go, and it's now in it. You can see the plant kind of like reaching out with other parts of its body, bringing it to its core and hiding it from you.
My
Take one of my
weapon.
axes. Take one of my axes.
It took my sword.
It took your sword.
It's
Oh,
on now.
dear.
It's
Oh
on
man,
now.
we've been rolling lots of ones.
All right, Gesh.
Like I first roll on the table and then you lost it.
So did I hear Traven's shout?
I don't think there's any possible way that Traben losing his sword would not have screamed out in sheer agony as though he had been hit with a critical wound. Is this not true? Traben?
Well, I think, he yelled out before he lost his sword that there was evil magic afoot. So,
And to
Okay.
beware the Pixies are a problem.
we're the
is what you said.
Pixies. Yeah.
All right. So my,
All right.
my mistake. What you did here, instead of him being
And then after
absolutely
that, it was like,
frustrated.
"Dadgummit, I lost my sword!"
Thank you. Go with it. All right.
Wow.
Gesh.
If the Pixies are a problem, they're going to attack the Pixie with an Eldritch Blast, or not.
The one that's directly in front of you?
And he said the Pixies are a problem.
All right,
yes.
so Eldritch Blast, you kind of miss with your Eldritch Blast, but you kind of notice that you kind of skim the tree just a little bit, and you can hear it going, "Rrrr," like you can hear the bending of branches beginning again.
Oh shit.
It's
Don't
annoyed.
wake the treant.
Who is
Hold
next?
on, let me move now. Here we go.
Oh, he's moving, so
Okay.
I gotta move.
Yep.
Prixie.
Moving. I am avoiding the halfling goo. I didn't realize they did that when they got scared. To over here.
So
The
funny.
halfling goo.
All right. Top of the order. Arjack, you are currently grappled. What would you like to do?
I mean, do I need to do any sort of test to try to get? Oh, I could do a strength test. Can
Yes. Yes, you
I? Can
definitely
I
can.
try to muscle my way out of this?
Yes, absolutely.
What do I need to? Strength save, strength check.
It's just a strength check.
I'm good at these, supposedly.
Oh. So,
Yeah.
you did a decent job of... Let me make sure. Yeah.
Can
So,
I just flex?
Arjack, in metagame turns, does a 19. So he's just like, "Ugh," ready to Hulk out and break through the vines. And the vines are like, no. And it rolled a 20 and kept you right in place. It's pulling you towards it, though. And you find yourself lying directly next to this tiny little form. And the vines are enclosing you in such a way that feels very casket-like.
Oh, it's the dead pixie.
Hey, squirrel, come chew on this, squirrel.
Okay, so that would have been the Doppler plants go, because when you didn't successfully do it, it's not going to reach out and attack Traben right now. It's trying to complete its process with Arjack.
Is it gonna do damage?
Oh, yes. Hold on.
I figured it would, but I'm just so everyone knows, because I see it coming. I'm getting ready for demise of Arjack.
I got. You know what? I'm sorry that this is a bit of an inside joke, but Smurf sent me a text message today that said, "I'm ready in case Arjack dies. I want to be." Fill out the.
No, we're not gonna. Don't spoil the character.
Okay,
Don't spoil
never
the
mind. He has a very interesting character he might come back as. Anyways, Elsandra, you are up.
Okay. So I just saw that happen. That's pretty scary. So I'm gonna pull out the big guns.
Okay.
We're gonna do chromatic orb.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
All right. So
Okay.
don't you have to pick a color and what it does, right?
Yeah, I have to figure out what kind of damage I want to do. Oh, I know this is gonna like kill you inside, RJ, but I gotta.
It's okay. It's okay. He's gonna go out doing what he loves.
Lying down.
Laying on the ground.
I'll do
Gardening.
cold, I guess, because like I don't know, thinking. I know that really doesn't have too much, but
So what's the
You know,
range of
freeze-
chromatic orb?
what'd you say?
What's the range?
90.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, it didn't roll. It just dropped it. Okay, there we go. Oh no! Oh, I'm still targeting him. How come it didn't say
That's
if I
a
hit
hit.
or not? Okay. We'll do cold.
Okay.
Thinking there's a lot of water in plants, right?
Yep. So you launch your chromatic orb. Unfortunately, there's just that reservation that you have in the back of your mind of not wanting to cause damage to at least your party member that you know is somehow inside, and you kind of hold it back. Now I want you to roll a d20 in the open.
Is this for my thing?
Oh yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so nothing goes off. Again, sparks kind of, as she launches, kind of radiate about her, but no additional effect has taken place here. Next up is Aiden.
Oh, you attacked the pixie, didn't you, Gesh?
Yes, I did.
Can I get a rule question?
Sure.
So I know you can hold actions. Are you allowed to hold movement?
So
I don't think so.
hypothetically, I would allow for this particular movement, but
Right.
I'm not going to allow movement when you're starting to say, like, if a target comes towards me, I'm going to avoid it and get out of its way. No.
Right. Okay.
For this particular one, I'm okay with it.
Okay. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm
No.
just curious.
I didn't. No. Well, and so guiding bolt.
Missed.
How did that? Wait, how did that miss if mine was a 13?
Because she went after
Oh,
the pixie
Pixie.
and not the bush. So guiding bolt, and you see it go and just like zooms past. The guiding bolt almost hits the tree as you kind of like because it's the pixie is so nimble, and you're seeing the branches kind of shake and a bunch of leaves kind of fall off.
Getting angry.
Is that the conclusion of your turn, Aiden?
Yes.
All right, Traben, you are up.
Traven is
Save
going
me.
to pull his mace from his belt and attempt to strike this bush plant
Don't-
thing with
All
it.
Don't
right.
hit your sword.
I'm going to hit
It's
it
magical now, though, so.
Oh, look at that!
back.
Angry.
And he's going to expend the spell slot and use Divine Smite along with this damage.
This could be good.
Holy shoot to patooties. Oh, it's gonna roll the extra d4 from your other thing, so -3.
No, that's correct.
Because you still had the other ability on yours from the radiant
Yeah,
d4.
that's on
That
me,
was on
not
your
on the weapon.
Oh, the way you
Oh.
described it, it sounded like it was your
Very
weapon.
nice. Okay, so Traben, when you drop the mace down on this time, you can see the plant has completely withered back. You can make out your sword. Hypothetically, if you wanted to reach for it, you'd be able to do so. It looks I mean, you got to realize it's a plant, right? But it's retracting in a way that makes it look like you've hit it on another plane of pain. Okay.
That's right. There's more where that come from, plant.
Another plane of pain.
They call me the weed whacker.
Yes. So, about this time, Tok actually flies in. Attempting to do damage to the plant, but being unsuccessful in its attempt. Next up, Gesh.
Continuing my extermination techniques. Let's see if I can get this little bug this time.
Flame breath.
That may happen eventually.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage. So Gesh is like, I heard Traben. I believe Traben. Pixie bad. Woof. And the pixie just
man.
falls straight out of the tree. I need a perception check from you real quick.
Like a mosquito hitting a freaking bug zapper.
Yeah, it's right about that time that you happen to notice the two dire wolves that were sitting in wait, and they don't look quite so happy that you've attacked their in their mind their family.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
This is how I die.
And thus ends Storm King's Thunder.
Right.
I told you
Actually,
it'd be
I'm
quick.
continuing my
No,
movement, too, so
okay. Pesty unfortunately is not going to chance anything at this point. Sorry, Arjack. I need a death save or
I just want to let you know that at the end
I'm
of my
not dead yet.
oh, he succeeded. He succeeded in his death save.
Wait, why do I have a
Ooh.
death save? I have.
Because you're unconscious.
Oh.
Wait, why is he unconscious?
Because the plant
Because he
did more
hit 0
damage
hit
as it
points.
yanked him in.
the plant did more damage.
Oh, okay, I missed that. Sorry.
So
Damage
the
exceeded
Doppler
his hit
plant
points.
is just going to cause damage again to Arjack, which I'm hoping this should just be one death save.
It is.
Brian, I did have a movement at the end of my turn. I just need you to.
Sorry, thank you for pointing that out.
Don't leave me.
Okay,
No, hold on. If he's unconscious, all attacks against him are crits, and a crit is 2 death saves.
Oh. So did
Yeah.
it automatically
I'm pretty
deal
sure
with
that's
that or
how it
not?
works.
Okay, so he's failed 2 and passed 1.
Okay. Elsandra, you're up.
All right.
Did I just foretold my own death by accident?
Maybe.
AB.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Oh.
it'll be alright. Just don't fail your next one.
Oh, right.
I guess. I think I'm gonna do magic missile again.
Okay.
Just on the plant. I'm
Okay.
still targeting him. Yeah, I am. Oh, one more.
How did it...
Is it not applying it now?
Yeah, the last one it didn't apply. Hold on.
That's weird.
Man.
I can drag and drop it if you'd like.
No.
Got it?
Boom. Because it was... The plant had literally 1 hit point left when he shot off your last magic missile. So,
Oh.
in a cloud of just like thorns and dust, the plant kind of tries one last chance to just explode out and trying to...
Oh, I rolled a 1.
it's a 20 that you have to roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
so no fun effect afterwards.
It's not fun
No,
when you
it's a one I
fireball
have
the
to roll.
party.
Oh!
No, it's a 1.
Well,
I
then
thought you were
my
asking me if it was a D20. I was like, yeah, I have to roll a D20.
So
no,
a
it's
one,
on a 1.
so 1 causes the effect, right?
Yeah. That's
Roll it
okay.
up.
Nobody's near me, so.
Do it up. Let's find out what happens. 29. You
29.
teleport to
60 feet. 60 feet. Okay.
Where would you like to move to?
I'll move towards the plant.
Well, up to 60 feet. So
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
move over here.
Well, it has to be
Yeah,
unoccupied, so
You
boom.
could move a
Somewhere over
foot.
there, yeah.
Okay. And so, Elsandra, you cast these spells, you all of a sudden teleport right, and like you kind of like teleport so you can see it firsthand as the darts hit directly into the plant. And you kind of take notice that their Arjak had been crumpled in and was about to be food for the plant or of some sort. But more importantly, you see kind of like a unconscious body of this pixie just kind of like sitting there, and it's splayed out. Aiden.
Do I see those wolves behind me?
Oh, yes,
Or
you
at
do.
least number.
They're not
I
making themselves...
Scream. I scream the most horrible, blood-curdling scream. Those are not puppy dogs. And I'm
Yeah.
going to 25. Double move. The hell out of dodge. Pointing behind me as I run past Ash. Probably like pushing him. Well, not pushing him because I'm not strong enough, but like out of my way, coming through. Ah!
There's no
You do the
question,
thing where you,
Gesh.
like, bounce off
A
him
gold
and you
wing
run by.
went right by
Probably
you.
that weak.
Like arms in the air, waving around. Like we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. My mother told me. I don't know my mother, but my mother would have told me.
Traben, you were up.
Traven is going to kneel down and grab Gesh's ankle or leg or hand, whatever is closest.
You mean
Oh,
Arjax? Because Gesh is
Arjax,
really
yeah.
far back.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Arjax.
Excuse me, Mr. Fantastic.
And
Go.
he is going to he's going to say, Torm will not let you leave yet. And he's going to drop
You're doing my job.
just a little bit.
You're too slow.
That's 4, I think I just did.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, and hold on. So, here is the pixie that's over there as well.
Just
And if it's allowable, he will retrieve his sword.
Yeah, you can retrieve your sword and you kind of sheath it back in. Arjack, you have this momentary thing.
Alessandra, where did you come from?
Say that again.
over there. I came from
Alessandra,
over
where'd you
there.
come from?
Over there. I came from over there.
Gesh, you're up.
Where they run away, run away.
So, obviously, these dire wolves are coming after us, correct?
Their focus seems to be on this dead pixie that's on the ground.
Oh shit.
Oh, all right. In that case,
Let's just finish it.
Oh god.
Why do we leave the path? Never listen to Faye.
And so, just for a second, Aiden has the same experience that Gesh had a minute ago. It's like, oh, and you feel this breeze just kind of propel you forward just slightly.
race you.
All right, Arjack, you're up.
So he's gonna let his he's gonna kind of plant his axe in the ground and drop his shield. He's gonna draw his longbow, and he's gonna he's what wolves, and just kind of go for the first one here. Let's untarget that.
So first off, you're prone. In order to do anything, you'd have to stand up. That's 15 feet of movement. I'm just trying to
That's
make
fine.
sure that okay.
He ain't moving.
So I need you, before you do anything else, I need you to make a history check.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Yes.
He's not
It
intelligent.
doesn't matter.
Open or tower?
Let's do it open. Whenever you say it's bad, I just want to... See, then you roll 19.
Yeah.
See? So, Arjack, you had this momentary time lapse where when you were under and you were being dragged into this plane, you have this, faint memory that you weren't dead, you were unconscious. Okay? That it didn't actually do lethal damage, it did subdual damage to you as it pulled you into itself. And just for a second, you kind of felt one with the plant, and that maybe you would spring forth and do whatever the plant wanted to do.
Mind control.
I know what Arjack would do.
No. I'm just saying you're remembering this happening. It hasn't happened to you.
Wait, it hasn't happened?
It has not happened.
So
you
it
were,
was like a possible future?
yeah, like you were woken from a dream, and that dream was just what I told you.
That's weird.
Weird.
Okay, so all of a
You
sudden,
went to the vegetarian matrix, man. I mean,
so what are you doing? Anything else?
No, he's just gonna stand up and be like, that was weird. And then bow this dire wolf.
Okay.
That uses dex? This is my first time shooting a bow?
Yes,
Is
it
that
does
right?
use dex.
Okay, well, I ain't shabby with this. But I still
Yeah.
miss.
You have a 4 dex?
Uh-huh.
Alessandra, you're up.
I call it cheating. I'm just kidding.
Do you want to see my intelligence?
It's like a 7.
8.
What do I want to do? Okay, I guess I'll turn around then. And, so I see these little buggeroonies.
And I should have moved them because they're kind of, again, they're paying attention to the fact that, and they're facing the wrong direction, but they'd be facing upward. They're looking at this dead pixie that's on the ground. That Gesh picked off.
Shoot, what's the range of that? Oh, 60 feet. I'll do Ray of Frost
Okay.
at the same one that Arjack was looking at. Was that number 1?
The one on the
Direwolf.
left.
Okay, Direwolf 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll do Ray of Frost.
You're targeting the Doppler plant still.
That's a cantrip.
Oh, I am still? Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
I know that because my wizard or my sorcerer in my game IDM uses it all the time.
Alright, cast.
What's the range of?
It's 60 feet.
Okay, so it is just literally at 60 feet.
That's a hit.
All right, that's a hit.
And damage! Oof, only
Okay.
3. But its
You
speed is reduced by 10.
say it again.
Its speed is reduced by 10.
Okay, so you launch this ray of frost out, and it hits, and the wolf squeals like it's been doubly hurt right now, right? Its owner's on the ground dead, and now you just hit it.
Oh, that's its owner?
We don't know.
We didn't know that it was...
But
Well,
the-
no. I mean, it was you could see it was kind of like putting its nose up to the pixie and
Oh.
kind of pushing it.
I thought it was
We
trying
don't
to-
speak wolf, so.
I thought it was
So-
eating it.
Also, Brian, just to let you know that square I left there is where the halfling dropping came.
Oh.
That whole area-
So
that
as
whole
they're
area-
trying to find trying to find the pixie, they're like,
That's why I missed.
And now the one that just got hit is slowed and in difficult terrain. So I have no idea what happens to this. poor
yeah.
dog.
I don't think
Oh,
I
man.
don't know that it doubles up, but we'll find out. Aiden.
All right, so our Jack looks a little worse for wear. Can I get to him? Sure, I can. On the opposite side of that scary plant.
Watch out for the squirrel.
I don't know to be afraid of the squirrel. And I will cast a spell on you. That's not very good, but
I mean, we're low level, so that's a lot still.
and I'm done.
So at the very conclusion of all that, the squirrel jumps on Aiden and just sits on our shoulder.
Woo! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! She's running around like she has a bat in her hair. If she had hair.
Traben, you're up.
So this pixie in the bush, it looks exactly like the one that was in the tree.
Yes, 100% identical. This had to have been a twin to the point that the clothes match.
Traben will retrieve the pixie's body from the bush.
Okay, it's like sitting there kind of lumped back. It's about a foot tall.
Is
Oh,
it,
they're big.
is
Feed
it
it to
dead?
Gash.
No, I'm sorry. It's what, 6 inches? 6
I
inch,
don't know.
right? Yeah, it's about a foot tall. No, that's right.
Is there any life in it at all?
So you notice that it's breathing. It's just not moving.
I will drop 2 points of lay on hands.
That's good because that's actually max for a pixie, and it springs to life in your hand, and it's like looking around, and it's unbelievably frustrated because
It's my turn! Just kidding.
yeah. Well, it is frantically trying. You can tell it's about to stand up and try to fly directly towards the tree.
Oh, sister, what is going on here?
And she's like, "Who are you? What was that?"
We have, and I got a hold of her, right?
I mean, are
Turn
you
her.
holding her?
Yes,
You're
like this.
okay. So now she's
And
like
I
this.
turn her and I
I'm
point
assuming
her
that
face.
the bottom line is if she was unconscious and you healed her, that could happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now, without
I put
crushing her
face
wings,
towards the
right?
bush. I put her face towards the bush and I say, "We have slayed this beast and released you from it. What is going on here?"
And she goes, "Oh no!" And you can see the wheels turning in her little mind as she's trying to figure out what the hell happened. And she goes, "That's a Doppler bush."
I don't know what that means, but Is that your sister over there? Are you all fighting about whose turn it is in the damn tree?
And she's like, no, it's not dark yet.
Well, there's two other pixies over there, and one's inside the tree, and then one looked just like you, was pounding on the tree, and yelling to be let in.
There should just be one. It's just me and my sister.
Well, there was another one that looked
Not
just
anymore.
like you. Wait, not
Oh,
anymore?
I let go of her.
Not
I let go.
anymore.
Okay, so she's happy to be let go. She's a little frustrated. She doesn't quite understand. I mean, you have to realize, I'm unconscious. I'm awake. I'm in someone's fist.
Yeah.
They're telling me what to do. It's a kind of a rude awakening for a pixie.
Yes.
She kind of hightails it. She's got unbelievable speed.
But go for the wolves.
And
Traven, is that a bad pixie?
say that again.
I don't know. Yeah,
I can get her.
I think that one was in the bush.
So you kind of see her calming the wolves down because the wolves look like they were ready to start attacking, and she's just kind of saying, "I'm fine," and they kind of back off into this direction. We're out of initiative at this point.
Where's the bird?
I'm very
Can-
confused.
I believe.
Get him
Well,
up,
I'm
get him
gonna
up,
go
get him
back
up.
over here.
Our Jack will put his.
I don't know. Where is the bird?
There it
I'm gonna
is.
go back over here. I was standing on top of him.
Ah, there he is.
Our Jack will put away his
I can
longbow
see.
and grab his shield and axe off the ground.
Oh, I wanted to move over here.
So the pixie, of course, is not impacted by the grease because the pixie is flying, right? If she kind of comes back, she just happened to notice that her friends were kind of getting riled up, and she wanted to stop them. She kind of explains to the party as a whole that the Doppler plant can only expand and grow by creating effectively doppelgangers of creatures and then implanting themselves within other
Oh,
living plants.
okay. That's why she wanted to get in.
That's why she wanted in.
There could have been two of me.
Well, it would have been really bad because then you would have had a tree ant-sized Doppler plant grabbing giants, sucking them in, and it just launching out an army of Doppel giants everywhere.
Great.
It would have been terrifying. So you all stop that from happening. And I'm going to tell you right now that it's Aiden who kind of has that vision in her mind during her next prayer session that kind of gives you all the what just stopped happening because of your actions in this particular neck of the woods. In total, this has taken you about an hour out of your way. The pixie apologizes that she has nothing to give as a reward. But the pixie on the inside of the tree is kind of like pounding really, really hard, and she basically lets herself out prematurely. And you see the other one like zoom right in, like, oh well, if you're gonna let it go, that's fine. And she kind of jumps in there. Let me get a medicine check from any medicine or arcana, whatever you have that's better.
Tower or open?
Do it open. And I'm going to say that y'all return back to the tree.
Before
Wow.
returning to the tree, Gesh is going to burn that whole bush area.
Oh, I had a feeling that might be coming. It's gone. There is no sign of the Doppler plant at all at this point.
Where's the squirrel?
The squirrel makes it back to the tree.
Oh, I thought it would still be dancing on
Yum,
it.
yum, yum, squirrel. Yum, yum, yum.
So, Alessandra, you kind of notice this, and it might just be because of just the minute stature, and allows you to kind of pick out details a little bit more, right? So you kind of feel more akin to these foot tall
Yeah.
pixies, and you kind of notice that the pixie that comes out is much younger looking than the pixie that went in. Although you'd gone, oh, they're relatives, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're, like they clearly have features that. So it's something about returning to the tree that in your mind keeps them in their youth.
Oh, that's why they're 500 something years old.
Yes. But the pixie that leaves the tree, who is Trixel, no, it's Prixie, actually says, I actually do have something that I'd like to give you. And it's information. And she kind of alludes to the fact that in the town of Zelbros at some point in the past, and she kind of watched as Gesh picked off her her faux sister with an Eldritch Blast, and she's kind of talking to you, Gesh, and she goes, the town of Zelbros at one point had a very large literary warlock library, and it's been known that a lot of artifacts were left there. Some people say the warlocks actually blew the city up, but I'm convinced that you should make it a point to look through the city, because you'll find something there.
Excellent. Well, I will keep an eye open. Thank you for your advice.
And she kind of giggles a little bit and runs into the tree, and you kind of hear in the whisper of her breath, she's like, no matter what happens, if he finds it or not, it's going to add chaos to the world, and I like that.
So Arjak's gonna levo the Traven and go, what's a library?
It's a place where they store books and knowledge. A place you would never want to go.
Wait, you can store knowledge like in a bottle?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. In a way.
That's good to know.
Knowledge water. You put it in a bottle.
Knowledge water?
Knowledge water.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, come on, Arjak. There's many a time when you've drank more than 2 or 3 pitchers and suddenly you do feel smarter.
He's got a point. So I'm assuming you all head back to your horses and carriage. Nothing has
Hopefully to God we can find it. Yes.
Yes. Nothing has happened to your horses. You didn't go that far away from it, and again, you kind of look down both directions in the road, and unfortunately, you're feeling like that moment in a horror zombie film of there's no one here. There's absolutely no one here. There's a immense appreciation of family within the group that all of you all are feeling, just because the feeling of alone returns very, very quickly as you've removed yourself from this fey magic that somehow kind of empowered you with a little bit more joy than when you've returned to the road.
Can we not leave the path again, please? It's very sound advice.
Well, so as a reminder, so we're going to go ahead and say that you all continued on your travels. You all made camp, right? Arjak, at this point, are you going to continue looking for the walking stick, or are you going to be looking for food at this point?
We have rations.
Okay, so you're looking for the stick.
No. This night, I'm going to set a trap. I helped with the stick earlier. She threw it away. I'm trapping it.
And the night prayer that Aiden has, because you do that right before you go to bed, right? Or only in the morning? So it's the next morning, okay, that as you're doing your praying and the visions of everything that happened, again, you get the sense that even though there was this sense of fear that you had leaving the path, that you stopped an army of effectively doppelgangered
Arjaks.
Well, Arjaks as well as giants from storming and destroying, because the whole menace of this particular weed is that it would infect every single natural thing and bend it to its will.
I argue with my vision that my presence was irrelevant and that I didn't need to be there. I don't need to be here. I should be safe at home. And just give me the word. It's not that long of a walk back. I'm brave enough for that.
Okay. Again, you kind of have a wag of the finger in your vision again at this point, going, yeah, nice try. You're doing the right thing, and if you search deeper in your heart, you'll know it.
No, my heart is quite shallow. I've searched. Only took a second before I hit bottom, and no.
Do I need to see if I caught anything?
You caught anything? Oh, go ahead. Roll a survival check, and go ahead and do it with advantage. You kind of were given a bit of luck from the Pixies as they left, or as you left them. Oh yeah, you found enough food for both.
Pesky squirrel.
I was gonna say, did I catch squirrels?
No,
crow?
you don't take the Pixies. What is it? They're
Familiar.
yes, thank you,
Companion.
familiar. So no, that doesn't happen. But you do have enough food for tonight and for tomorrow night from your trapping. None of which Aiden will eat whatsoever. But
Right.
but
We got rabbits.
But you do notice that there is, Aiden, even in the morning, again, as you're arguing with your vision, you have, like, over to the side, your eyes dart over there, and it's actually some of the nicest flora as far as eating has gone since you've been on this trek.
Ooh, some tubers.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to say something now. The rest of the adventure for tonight is all ROLE playing. Make sure that when between now and our next game, go ahead and make sure you've leveled up to level 3.
Sweet.
So let me then.
Okay.
Could you also give us a long rest too, just so we?
That I'm not doing, Gesh. Stop asking for that.
Oh, come on!
I know. But so yes, let's go ahead and give y'all a long rest.
And I'll talk to you after the show to get help leveling up.
Well, and we're not done yet. I just wanted
I
to
know.
make sure that I don't
Oh.
forget to tell you that.
Well, I did it.
Well, that's okay. That's okay because everything is ROLE playing at this point as opposed to ROLL. So, at the conclusion of your trek out, you're approximately there. You've made it. You're making unbelievable time, and yes, I will say that part of it is due to your fantastic, unbelievably charismatic short driver that is just pulling the horses at their maximum speed without wearing them out. The other thing is that you really do get the sense, Gesh, that the guy who was the original seller of all the goods was going out of his way to try to make sure you had the best of what was going. So you get a slight sense of appreciation. Even though you're only halfway there, the ruins of Zelbros are extreme in the distance, and there is a very, very, very faint sound, just like that. And you can hear it way off in the distance.
That's giants coming this way. Let's go.
Elsandra, pulling the horses at an unbelievable click, makes it to approximately there. For whatever reason, the road isn't represented well right here. It actually returns closer to the river. And the campsite that there was an evident campsite that was left by some previous travelers on the road. It does look incredibly inviting. There'd be very little to do in order to set up, and even stacks of wood still exist where, albeit rather not looking freshly hewed trees kind of line a particular area, perfect for the utilization of firewood. Something does come into mind that you had a month of torrential downpour and lightning strikes, and other kinds of unnatural, strong storm weather. Since you've been traveling, you haven't seen a lick of rain. And at this point, even though that you're closer to the river, you get the sense that this far in from the Sword Coast has not received the same sort of torrential downpour that the coast itself received. So at this point, the wood that's left there is dry and ready for to be utilized as campfire wood. But there is kind of like a small concern that, again, the environment doesn't lend itself to being anything other than a concern for either farmers or the dryness of the land, making this particular area you've just kind of crossed over into just seems harder. There's a firmness to the earth. Is there anything that y'all would like to do during this camp?
Sharpen my axes.
Okay.
Yeah, the typical, mundane things of making camp, cleaning armor, sharpening weapons, doing the nightly, weapons training, and, Gesh, have you ever seen anything like that before?
Are you speaking about Arjak? No, I've never seen anything like that.
Well, I was
thank
talking
you.
about the bush that tried to eat him, but
No, but I find truly ironic since, Aiden keeps trying to eat all the plants, and now the plants are trying to eat us. Perhaps we're in conflict with her deity and her battle between the vegetables.
this is true.
No, I've never seen such a thing before. Or, the animals and the little winged things, and all of it was very, very odd. Have you seen such a thing like this?
No, Aiden, have you any recollection of what did the pixie call that? A Doppler plant?
A Doppler
That's
plant.
actually a really good idea. Would I know about carnivorous creepy plants? I
Go
know
ahead
about...
and roll nature with advantage. Are you specifically asking about carnivorous plants or that particular plant?
that particular plant.
No, that seemed foreign to you. However, the notion of Mother Nature striking back in all its in sometimes very, very dark ways. This particular plant might have been less of a concoction of magic and more actually like you would know of Venus flytraps and the like, and you get the sense that this is a far more dangerous version of that reality. The fact that it's able to effectively create its mechanism by which it spreads its seed is actually to imprison and clone the person that it encapsulates, and then goes and tries to be a part of a different plant is dark. But you're actually more attuned to the fact that you've heard of situations where trees have been planted near the site of a vampire that's been slain, and it's taken on vampiric nature.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, okay. So I'll relay that.
Shantae,
But I've only read about it in books.
yeah, Shantae would not be happy about that kind of tree. Hey. Okay. So Shantae
And boy,
would
she
not
really
be happy
sounds
about
it
that.
right there too. Boy, that was some good. Yeah.
So, I'm going to speed your travels along. It's a lot of the same. The one thing that kind of you all notice, and it's disconcerting. It's 2 more days of travel before you make it to Zelbros, and you don't come across any real wildlife. There's no deer. Arjak does not have any success after that first chance of setting a trap and making and retrieving any game. It's been cleared of any sort of fauna in the area. 2 days go by. You're on the outskirts. You can make out the city walls, and Zelbros is a hulking mass of stones that have been neatly piled up, like, and you still hear that loud thumping noise, and it's not rhythmic. It's off canter. Like, you'll hear it, and then there'll be a pause, and then you'll hear it again, and then there'll be a pause, and a lot of there was mason work here at one point. Zelbros must have been a rather well-defined city, and instead, you don't see any notion of streets and roads. Instead, what you see is these there's a huge area of absolute ruin where it's just rubble, and climbing over it would be kind of treacherous. And then you see these just pillars that stand up to about 18 feet tall of what would have been ceilings, floors, side panels of buildings, neatly kind of hewn into thin plates of stone, but that stretch out to maybe 5 feet in diameter. And there's a stack here, and then over here there's a stack there. And sometimes you'll see a little bit more ornate patterns of a pyramid, but it's still flat, right? It's not an actual pyramid. It's more like a triangle. Do you know what I'm saying? So the triangle might be 5 feet from front to back, but it's not a pyramid. And you just find them placed every once in a while. And you kind of see off into the distance, there is a really tall giant, not as tall as the cloud giants that you dealt with. And you see him just kind of place one block of something that was constructed within the city, and then he goes and doesn't say anything. He picks up another block, brings it back, and you see these goats there's like 6 goats, but they're enormous. Okay, probably even Arjak would think that they're larger than Arjak. Okay, but they're probably 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall from the end of the horn to their hooves, and they're kind of parading around him. And he'll pick up a stone and he'll put it on something, and you'll see them all 6 of them kind of dive for that area, and they start nibbling at grass that was now made available after the giant has moved that stone. He's not paying attention to you.
Yay.
And the distance from you to it is probably well over 3 football fields, so 900 feet away. But he's an immense person, right? And he towers over everything that's in the ruined area of this city. The giant is approximately 20 feet tall. He has grayish skin. Silence.
I would like to make my way over.
I hide behind a tree.
Okay, there are no trees, but there are huge stacks of stones that would be easy for you to hide behind.
So the town is
Him.
The town is completely devastated, okay? But it's been devastated for a long time. You don't get the sense, this isn't a recent event, but...
So the giant didn't do it.
I can't say that you would know that 100%. Go ahead and make me a... what would be the best skill to use here? Would it be perception? No, investigation. Do an investigation check.
Wouldn't it be like insight?
Or
No,
history.
because insight deals more with interactions with other characters. So unless you're going to go up to the giant and ask him, hey, did you destroy this town? And then his response would be a reflection of insight. Do investigation check.
I did. So
You actually rolled really well, and you get the sense that the damage done to the ruins has has layers of dust over it in places. It has, there is, wherever there aren't stacks of stones, the dust has settled so thickly that you can't imagine in your mind that the giant had anything to do with it. Like, it's pretty much where the giant has gone and stacked the stones. It actually looks cleaner.
Can I go talk to the giant?
I mean, you can. I don't know how the rest of your party is going to react to that, but yeah, you can.
Party, are you coming?
Sure. I'll follow.
Let me go on foot,
good
though. I
over
don't want to
here.
go on the cart. Not on the cart.
Yeah, first off, you wouldn't be able to get the cart through the city. With the exception of where the giant has stacked up boulders and has provided kind of a thoroughfare through the city. Any place that's the actual ruins, which makes up the majority of the city, I would say 75% of the city is still in absolute ruins.
Can I find a pretty good stack of rocks to clamber up on top of just to try to get a little bit of height up to him?
So if you're going to do it on the stacks, I'm going to have you do let's do a skill
Athletics.
check. No, well, it's more like I think you need to make sure you're considering whether or not the stones themselves would be useful from that perception. Do a wisdom check,
Oh, God.
which I know is fantastic for you.
Okay, so to recap what we have been told about giants.
Oh, it looks very sturdy. I'd get on them. Go ahead, Traven.
I'm trying to remember. We have been advised that giants are those snooty giants told us what?
If you don't remember, I'm going to have to make you roll a history check.
Last time on Lost Mines. No, not Lost Mines. Storm King's Thunder.
I'll roll a
What was your
history.
actual? No, hold on. What's your actual question, Treven? They asked you
Yeah.
was what that about the giants being in disruption for their
Yeah,
hierarchy
they're
amongst
ordering.
themselves.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, we know that there were two hill giants that were scavenging the countryside for food.
Right.
These aren't hill giants.
Right. And this giant, in comparison to the two snooty giants,
Shorter.
this giant is shorter than those two giants.
All right,
Yes.
these are going to be like mountain giants, if I had to guess. Or stone giants, something
Probably
like that.
stone. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
they're gray skin.
Gray skin, and Arjak has gray skin. He's from the mountainous stone region. I'm just kind of putting two and two together.
Right. And they didn't tell us anything about stone giants, did they?
No. I am
No.
a mini him.
They were too preoccupied laughing at the musings of hill giants and too preoccupied with what their end goal was,
Right.
which was
And
to find
so-
aspects of Austeria.
But we did find some kind of note, right, that said something about an assault on Golden Fields.
Yes. But that had nothing to do with the cloud giants that you talked to.
Right. But and also my God told me to come to this town, and now this town's a heaping rubble of a mess.
Yes. He did tell you to come here.
I'm going with Arjax.
So he's going to stand up on top of the
Make
stone.
a deck save.
Deck save?
Deck save. I'm not going to question that you can climb it. That's fine. The stones are put... yeah. So you stand up. What were you about to say to the stone giant?
In giant.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of nice rocks here.
Okay. So you
Be
climb up
shame
on top of the
one
thing.
when you're following someone.
You were about to scream, "Hey, giant! You got a lot of nice rocks!" Woo!" And it just like you slide down it. Not it does like a point of damage, but But you've ruined his thing, and he immediately turns to you, and it's not anger, it's absolute frustration that you see in his face. He starts
Did our
meandering
Jack fall on Aiden?
towards you. What now?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did our Jack fall on Aiden? Because she was hiding behind the rocks.
Oh, you know what? Let's roll a d4 and find out which direction. Actually, I'll roll a d8. I'll give you better chances here. Yeah, no. But, so, I assume that directly behind would be 4, right? In the directional thing. And so, or no, it would be 5. I rolled a 6. So, they slid right next to you. And as he's kind of tripping down these stones, the giant's coming straight towards the stack that had just fallen down. And you are clearly in his path because there's like maybe 3 feet of stones at this point. You are very visible.
Can I start trying to put the stones back?
Arjak's trying to?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a strength check real quick because I don't think you're going to be able to pull that off. These are really heavy stones. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Arjak, I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 points of damage now. You kind of wrenched your back a little bit trying to lift them up without using your knees. And he's like, and so now figure that I'm trying to give you an idea. So there's kind of a snaking path through the city that the giant was putting in. So he's not going through where he cleared out. He's coming straight across the ruins, and he's not slowed by the fact that there's no clear road. Mm-hmm. What would y'all like to do? By the way, stop for a minute. I know Aiden and Arjak were up there. Where's everyone else?
I was with Arjak.
Okay.
Well, I was following Arjak, I had said, but I wasn't going to climb up a pile of rocks.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna climb. Yeah.
Gesh, where are you at?
Rocks, but.
Gesh probably stayed with the wagon since we didn't really have anybody park it anywhere.
Okay.
Right?
So everyone else but Gesh. Here you go. There's this giant coming to you. He's less threatening to look at than the bouncing goats that are kind of like on either side of him looking for the next amount of food.
Well, sorry, still talking in giant. Sorry about the rocks here. Hey.
Okay, I need you to make a perception check.
You are so weird.
Yep, you notice nothing, but he's
My
coming
rolls,
straight
man.
at you.
I don't understand what he's saying to this beast.
Yeah.
He is now
But he's
100
saying
feet
it
away
really
from you.
weird.
What is the party doing? He's not speaking at all.
Is he menacing in any way?
Again, it's a hard. Again, you're not super familiar with Giant, and he's 20 feet above you. And as he keeps approaching you, your ability to see his facial reactions is less and less, right? Because you're looking more and more up his nose. However, the what you remember seeing when you were when he's right at about 100 feet is frustration, not
Right.
anger.
So Traven's going to use the universal signal of "we mean you no harm." He's going to put his hands up in the air and shout, "We do not come in anger."
So is that shouting?
Yes. Well, I mean, he's.
But you're gonna be
20
like,
feet taller.
"We don't come in anger." Is that,
Yeah.
is that more like it? Okay,
Yeah.
so he's like walking along, and all of a sudden, there's this little guy down here that's hands up in the air, screaming at him, and his first response is this.
He jumps back a little bit.
He jumps back a little bit.
Then, yeah, Traven's going to look at Arjak's like, "Well, speak to him."
And Arjak's gonna go, "We come as friends!" in common and raise his hands.
In common?
In common.
Okay, now he's like weirded out by both of you all, and he's like moving really slow
Towards us or away from us?
towards you because you can see that even though he's freaked out by you two, his focus is on that pile that's no longer there.
Shift away from the rocks. Shift away from the rocks.
Okay.
Is everyone doing the same?
Yeah.
Sidestep.
Everyone make a perception check. He's going to continue just piling the rocks one on top of the other.
Is he looking at us, though?
And I need to know what you're looking at. Even though I'm telling you to roll a perception check, I need you to tell me what you're looking at.
I'm just going to stop rolling for the night.
Holy cow. There's not a single die roll for perception over a 7.
I haven't rolled over a 10.
Okay,
Traven,
so...
not that it matters, but Traven was looking at his face. Or
I was
right
just, I was trying to read the hymn.
Okay, so I'm going to give this to you because something else is going to happen, okay? Y'all have taken a step back in order to give him room in order to stack up the stones that have spilled out, okay? Mm-hmm. You're right at the edge of the ruined area. And as he's stacking, and he kind of gets close to you, and he's looking around with trepidation as he's like lifting up the stones and putting on you get the sense that he doesn't know how to speak. He might be mute. He might be whatever. He's just there stacking stones, okay? Now, the reason why I had you roll a perception check and tell me which direction you were looking at is because right at that exact moment, there's rustling that occurs directly behind you. Alessandra, you get sucked up into a web, and the next thing you notice is the front 2 legs of a massive spider pulling her back into the ruins, and this is where we're ending the game.
No!
Bye, nice knowing you.
Somebody help me!
So
No, that's scary.
We all know that long history of halflings and giant spiders. This is not going to go well.
it is 10:30, and we're doing kind of an extended thing here out on Twitch, and this will end up on YouTube as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're doing Storm King's Thunder, how it's different from the book, and without giving spoilers to the party, kind of the mindset that I had when I diverged from the main path. There have been a couple times where I've posted things and I've gotten either PMs or messages from various people on Facebook and other places where I've posted where they wanted to know what were the things that I was going to change. So the first thing is, and this is early on in the book, they have this thing where if this is the entire book, let's make sure I consider this. This part of this book, okay, itty bitty nothing, is designed to get the player characters to go from level 1 through 5, and then the rest of the book is the next 5 levels, okay? And the rest of the book is actually interesting. It takes you all over Faerun, and there's no real reason to do so, which is kind of a funny thing. But in every place that you go, because you're dealing with giants, when the player characters are level 1 through 5, they end up having to meet like 30 people in every location that they go to because they need that much assistance in order to deal with the giants at hand or to deal with the issue at hand. And this part of the book, this 1 through 5, is so important that they actually said you can replace it with any adventure as long as the characters get to 5th level. So, super important. You never really see the people in this section of the book ever again. Oh, and by the way, there's still kind of this notion of like prehistory for the game that doesn't conclude until here. So, this is exactly 1 through 5. Okay? And I just felt like it was kind of artificial. It doesn't give you any sense of the world building, and all the stuff that happens as like a precursor to the story, you never really see. So instead, while the party doesn't know why, there are events that have shaped all around them and are important events in the why things are taking shape, that they will find out as they continue, right? So instead of dwelling on that, and a lot of people will use Lost Mines of Phandelver as the first 5 levels and then jump right into this. There is a section in the book where you have to do something really astounding. I don't want to spoil it for the party, but it's a choice that has to be made as to defending a big part of the Sword Coast, a particular landmark of the Sword Coast. And after that happens, there's this let the party wander the countryside of the Sword Coast for no apparent reason. And it's really a shame in my mind, because I worry that some of these locations are so far off the map and so far away from where they have to end up by the time they get to a particular point in the adventure, that I think they would always be ignored. So we're literally going to the third part of the story when people should be level 6 or so, and pushing this for a good part of the story. And I went out to the DM's Guild, which is a fantastic site, especially for Fantasy Grounds. They have a lot of modules that you can build straight in. I fell in love over Christmas break with a story called The Night of the Rise by Jeff Stevens. Excuse me. By Jeff Stevens. And I knew I had to include it. And so I immediately went, well, it's only really set for character levels of 1 or 2. How do I include this and all this? And so we started off at the beginning of this adventure in Daggerford, at kind of like a lower end of the overall map where Storm King's Thunder takes place. I'm going to go ahead and show you this map real quick. So this is the map of Faerun, and we started our adventure right here. Okay, and slowly but surely, here's Succumber right here, and they're making their way to Zelbros, which is right there. Okay, it's not hugely deep, but they have information about all this stuff that will happen over here, and unless you just have an ingenious scheme, there's no point for the player characters to necessarily go over here, much less down here. But there was a lot of little story arcs that I really wanted to include, because I think it adds power and momentum to the whole of everything that occurs regarding the loss of the Ordning, which the party already is aware of. So, spoiler alert, I guess, but typically this is learned fairly early on, at least pieces of it. And the notion of what happens in Succumber with the Cloud Giants looking for Austeria and their kind of haughtiness is actually in Storm King's Thunder. It's actually part of the book. So there are pieces that we're taking directly from it. There's encounters that we're including from DM's Guild. Eventually we're going to get to a point where they have to choose a particular location to basically save, and once that happens, we'll be playing straight out of Storm King's Thunder for the rest of the adventure, with the notion that elements, instead of being told to the party, the characters are actually having to live through it. They're having to deal with, the torrential downpour and the lightning strikes, and there's a logic and reason behind why certain things are taking place. And I'm really excited so that the party, as they start uncovering the mysteries of what's going on in Faerun, will actually be kind of mystery. I mean, there's just mysteries will unravel. Players, do you have any questions? I'm not going to answer anything that's going to spoil, but
yeah, I got one for you. So is there any that you, as far as you can tell, connections that we should have been making from the beginning of the book that we're going to need later on, or is it truly superfluous? That whole first 1 to 5, all those people and all that stuff is just fluff and nutter there to get you to 5th level.
I mean, like I said, I'll show you this one page because it doesn't really. I'm only going to show you the top part of it. So right here, the first 2 things, adventure workflow is either the Great Upheaval, which is the section, the handful of pages that are in here, or other published adventure. Just other. So I felt like if the story, you have to learn all these characters that exist in the Great Upheaval in order to be bothered to get any of these side quests that'll take you all over Faerun. But I'd never felt like there was enough of a push from, hey, I just met you and I saved you from a cave. Now you're going to send me to, the farthest reach of Faerun, and I'm gonna be like, sure, let's go. No reason, let's do it. Instead, I'd much rather there be kind of a more natural thing. It starts off with effectively the party being rescued early on from the lightning storms, being ushered into the city and kind of owing a small debt to the city. And it's not much, but as the divine people within the party kind of get influenced by their respective deities to keep pushing and keep finding more, and then other aspects of the party that actually play well into either there's riches to be made, there's people to save. There's a lot of arcs that were flowing through here, or arcs is the wrong word. Justifiable reasons to continue on adventuring deeper into Faerun. And so, with that in mind, and it's really, like I said, it's interesting because they have this massive section of almost every city that's in Faerun, and some of the story arcs are amazing, and some of them are like really super light, but they just kind of give you a hint. Hey, this is something that could happen in this particular area. So there's no maps or anything like that, and that's why combining this with things that we found from DM's Guild, where the maps are there and you have a kind of an extended story arc. If I find something that's kind of similar to where the party ends up, and hey, we benefit from all the great artistry of the images and the maps and everything, then we're creating a better experience. My take on Faerun, and I wrote a little thing about this, is that I have to basically instantiate my own Faerun and have things just happen. I don't, and the party has been really good about this. I know some of the players have kind of walked and lived in Faerun for so many years in the various editions of Dungeons and Dragons, and there's so much history behind it. It's one of those things where if I was given a choice, Faerun would not be the location I would set any adventure. I'm a huge fan of Eberron. And the reason I love Eberron is that the way that it was written, it was kind of like, here's just a handful of things as they exist in the world. You set up the adventure. In Faerun, there is so much history and so many websites that you could dive in and have a 50-hour inspection through various wiki websites just to get the history of Neverwinter. Never mind any other city in the entire Sword Coast. Baldur's Gate's even worse. So when you take into consideration, you realize that there's actually some sensitivity. I've actually had people that I've brought into various adventures and like, well, that wouldn't happen in this city. I'm like, it's a game. It's a game, people. You just play along. Yes, but I've read all about Waterdeep, and they have a particular size military, so the actions of blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my goodness.
My role, my table.
Yeah.
It's
So it's been interesting, but like I said, I'm very greatly appreciative of the player base that I have for this virtual table, and I sometimes get some questions from people like, sometimes you do these adventures and you stream them online and you put them on YouTube, and it's a lot of energy and it's a lot of fun, but there's not a lot of people actually watching at that exact moment, and I'm like, I never worry about that. I only care about streaming and posting things that I want to see again. So I don't raise or lower my level of energy because I'm worried about how many people are watching. As far as I'm concerned, it's the world, because I'm going to benefit from it. I've already had moments where other player characters and I have rewatched sections of particular games and just rolled with laughter, and to me that is a gift. I also try to play with my take on Dungeons and Dragons. It's either one of two worlds and often intermixed, but it's horror comedy. That's the way I like to play Dungeons and Dragons, horror comedy. I definitely went a little bit darker when I did Lost Minds of Phandelver, but I'm hoping that within the space of Storm King's Thunder, people are feeling the lighter side of my DMing skill. I'll be a little bit darker when it's when I'm first learning how to DM and I'm worried about making a mistake, because horror allows you to kind of hide some of that real quick. Oh,
And
it's a horror thing.
It's funny because Brian gets to see me DM Lost Minds of Phandelver, and it's totally different.
Yeah, it's a
Like-
completely different game.
It is, and it's a lot of fun because how would you describe my group based off of that? Like, ours is kind of a comedy action adventure almost.
Oh, I don't know that I would go there necessarily. Your party members are very cheeky. Cheeky is the word I would use, because we're trying to do a PG stream right now.
And I love my group. My group is wonderful. They're a good group of folks, and it's just it's interesting to see because he's talking about how everyone does things a little bit differently, and from the DM perspective, you also have to interact with how your players are going to do things differently. Spoiler alert for Lost Minds of Phandelver. Don't watch this if you don't want it spoiled. My group killed Glassstaff by throwing the dead Nothic, or they threw him into the pit and then threw the dead Nothic on top of him and crushed him with the dead Nothic. I mean, okay, we're rolling with that.
There's some consequences that occurred because of that too, though.
Right.
So, and I actually
Yes.
like it. Smurf has been rolling pretty well with, okay, if that's what you want to do, but, and then there's the whole thing of they got reminded, Sildar sent them in looking for Yarno, and now, we kind of accidentally killed him. Let's try to make it better.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
I don't believe anywhere in the contract it says alive.
They didn't bring his body back.
That's
It's still down there.
yeah.
Bring a bit. You just need a bit. There's a bit. Yeah. The glass staff will pretty much give it a proof.
True.
So, but like I said, I'm having a blast. I'm hoping people are having a blast. Bruce, I know you are actually pretty famous about taking the theme of an adventure and only using its good parts as well. We're currently running through a little bit of the Horde of the Dragon Queen, and he's taking it in a very different direction as well.
Way left.
Yeah, it's more like with me, I'm like, we're just skipping these first 13 pages because they're kind of stupid, and you'll never meet these characters again, and even the adventure itself says you can replace it with anything you want. The only difference is that instead of replacing it with an adventure, I'm actually going further in the adventure, taking harder parts of the adventure and putting the characters to it, because I know how skilled they are as a group, that even sometimes I'll intentionally find CR rated 3 and 4 to throw at them when they're second level, and they do fine with it. So take that as you will.
Right.
But the with
Except
Bruce's
tonight
game,
when Arjack decided to be a weed whacker and almost got taken out by a dandelion.
yeah,
Well, let's not forget that he was already injured from being smacked by the tree.
that's true too.
Yeah, you and plants, man. Maybe a little more distance there.
Well, in Arjack, literally part of his not backstory, but when I rolled on his flaws, violence is my answer to almost any challenge. So, yeah.
So the fact that he's not a murder hobo, let's all give a slow clap.
Right? That's where the almost comes in.
So, I have another DM question about this. So you've taken out this beginning story arc, which obviously is a triviality, since they pretty much say by the way, yeah, we put this in here, but please, dear God, find something else to put in here.
You can actually find the intro game for free without buying Storm King's Thunder off of DM's Guild.
So, I mean, was it difficult for you to find a way to have us go through your path and still get us to where we needed to be when you want us to get into the main story arc? Did you have to? And I mean that not only in a story sense, but also in like the physical place. I mean, if Storm King Thunder's throwing us all over Faerun, I assume we need to be somewhere at one point or another to get to, you've just passed saving point 5. Congratulations. I mean, that type of thing.
Right. I will say that I'm really glad that we stopped playing Lost Mines in the first week of November, and I had from then till the almost end of January to come up, because I poured through this book, and it frustrated me to no end that, again, you know how in Lost Mines of Phandelver I had you return to Phandelver and I would cause time gaps so that you actually saw the town progress while you were gone? The thing I didn't like about Storm King's Thunder is that you spend enough time in these particular cities, again, because you're dealing with giants, you need assistance, especially when you got to deal with more than one, and you don't ever return and find out what happens to these people. So I was kind of like, then what's the point of that part? And so what I ended up doing was I went through, I read every single thing that happens in Faerun from the book's perspective. And I go, there's certain things that I moved from one location to another because I'm like, I don't want you traveling that far. The other thing that I'm trying to do is actually complete this. If we play twice a week, to complete it in 6 months, which I think is aggressive, but I actually think is doable. And that's because by the time we get to the point where you're 5th level, you've actually completed, maybe a third of that section of you just traveling all over Faerun, right? So there's a way to do it. It might not happen. It might take 8 months. 8 months, I think, is what I've heard most people kind of say. Like 8 months, 5 hours a week. That's kind of and that's kind of where we fit. But I went through and I actually printed out maps of Faerun, and I would draw dots. I go, well, what if they went this way? Okay, what if they went that way? And I only did it for the first part because I just needed you to get to one particular spot. But I probably drew on 6 or 7 different maps, and then I had an inkling of how to convince you to go beyond there. But again, it's an open world thing. I don't want to remove the possibility that y'all are going to change your mind. But if I think of it this way, it's like, I'm not trying to tell you which way to go, but I'm going to tell you got a big reward coming this way and a lot of pain that way. Your call.
Aiden's still going to end up back in Daggerfall if we don't want. We're going to have to put a leash on her.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to. I was hopeful that by having her, I got stuck because so the player who runs Aiden, she writes a very elaborate backstory. And so I didn't understand that she wanted her backstory to be part of the story. I thought it actually was a precursor to her leaving Daggerford, which is why in the first episode I misplayed a little bit about how to get her to go, right? So, but in a little way, I'm kind of curious to see how well it's going to continue if we just keep allowing Aiden to kind of have a back and forth argument with her higher power where she gets all her powers.
Right.
So,
well, fortunately, she has one of the most lenient and compassionate gods to do this with. Like, yeah, I understand that. Just keep going. Oh, yeah, I mean, if you did that to one of the big 3 boys up there, it's like, I don't believe this. Well, yeah, great. You're a kobold. Have fun. You believe now? No, I don't know.
Yeah. No, but so I've been trying to be very motherly with her deity. That's why she gave them today the wag of the finger. You know better, rapscallion.
Rapscallion.
So, anyways, thank you everyone for sticking around. I know that we're kind of ending this a little bit early, but I hope you had a good time watching the game and having a little bit of insight into how we're proceeding with Storm King's Thunder. When we make DVDs, this will be the extra content for the director's cut. Just letting you know.
Right.
Find us on Blu-ray wherever your fine discs are sold, and if you're watching this 10 years in the future, it'll be like only on Amazon.
Yeah, we're exclusive.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.